Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday, and I'm Barry here. It is Monday, the 16th of June. Today, I'm adding a new twist to the show, or something extra to the show. And this is episode 89 now, or coming up soon, I should say. I have come a long way since I've brought the shows to you, since I've got back. And bringing the show to you is an absolute treat for me, and I hope that you are enjoying them. Well, today on episode 89, I'll be talking about my radio experience at Radio Northern Beaches last week. So I hope that you will stay tuned for episode 89 today. So 11 episodes until I reach the 100 mark. So 89 episodes. Wow, what an achievement. And that is a lot of episodes I've done for you guys. And it's a big achievement. And I hope that you continue to enjoy the show until December anyway. Well, I've got a meeting today about the end of the year, so I will let you know towards the end of today's show, or the end of today's video. So I hope you have a good day, and I hope that you enjoy episode 89 coming up shortly. It is Monday, the 16th of June, 2025, and it's a very cold day. And if you are unwell, guys, you know the rules. Stay home. If you've got COVID, stay isolated and away from everybody. So I will see you at Seaside shortly. This is episode 89, coming to you live from our studio at Seaside. This is Barry there with you. Good morning and welcome. Well, with 88 episodes now complete, we are now about to construct or put together, if that's the right way of putting it, episode 89. And boy, have we got a show for you today. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. And today we're going to be talking about our experience on the radio last week. Well, joining me now in the studio, it's a very good morning to Alex Taylor on a very cold Monday morning here.
Morning, Barry. Yes, super cold Monday morning here. How are you going?
I'm good, mate, and what a show it was last week.
So much fun recording. We recorded an episode of your radio show, the Barry Fear Radio Show, and we did it in the studio down at Radio Northern Beaches, and it was a heap of fun, wasn't it? It was lots of fun.
And if you make a mistake, guys, don't worry about it. The show must go on. And if you feel nervous before the show, hey, don't worry about it. Again, it's just a show. If you make a mistake or forget what you say, just take a few deep breaths in and out, and then it will come back to you. Here's Alec now for his opening sequence on this.
Yeah, mate, that's absolutely great advice. And actually, I don't think you ever get nervous, do you? So you're always cool as a cucumber in your show, mate. I think I'm probably more nervous than you are. And you're a fantastic presenter. Always very cool and calm and professional in your shows.
Now, well, when you construct the radio program, okay, such as this, always introduce yourself to the listeners. Say your name and say thank you for tuning in, but really, you say it at the end of the show as well. And then you do a sting. Well, a sting. Like, say you're listening to the Barry Fear Show on Radio Northern Beaches, 88.7 and 90.3. But don't tell the time because you don't know when the show is going to be played. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So it's good to say the sting every now and then so people listening in can tell when what they're listening to. And if you're recording the show, it's best not to talk about what time it is because you don't know when it's going to be played later. You can say the time if you're going live to air, right? So some people actually do radio shows live, but these days even the live shows are delayed, aren't they? So it's better to just do your show and not necessarily talk about the time because maybe it'll be on at another time later on when it's broadcast.
And if you're not up to doing this show, guys, don't pressure yourself. Do it whenever you're good and ready. Don't just go, yeah, and then rush. Because you may be sick on the day or the day before, and that happens. So don't force yourself into doing the show straight away. Only do it when you're good and ready. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, that's really good advice, isn't it? So if you're recording a show, you really want to be at your best. And so if you're feeling under the weather, best to just postpone it so that you can come back and do it another time when you're feeling better.
And nobody is going to be angry with you about it because, like, you know, if you're sick, you're sick. Okay? Don't be hard on yourself and don't overexert yourself either. Here's Alex.
Yeah, that's right. So take it easy. If you're unwell, you know, give yourself a break, give yourself some time to recover, and you know, eat well and try to get some good sleep, and then be at your best for when you're going to, you know, do what you do normally in your life when you're feeling better.
And also, if you don't have to give notice to the station either, because like they will totally understand. They will just put you in another time slot on a different day. Here's Alan.
Yeah, that's right. So if you've booked some time, it's polite to let the studio know that you won't be using that time because maybe someone else wants to use it. And then you can always just book a new time. And that's very, very easy to do, isn't it?
So just ring the studio and let them know that you're unwell and ask if they can reschedule you in for another time.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, the next segment today, we're going to be talking about the equipment that we use at Radio Northern Beaches. The equipment that is used in Studio 2 at Radio Northern Beaches is basically like a real radio station. Like there are headsets, like headphones, and a microphone. And let's picture like the controls of a plane, okay? You turn the sound up if you want to hear it, or fade it out. Here's Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. So the studios for Radio Northern Beaches are a proper radio station, aren't they? So they've got headphones, they've got microphones, and there's a custom-made recording panel with lots of inputs and levels, so you can change the different volumes of all of the different inputs, and then a whole recording system for recording what you're producing in the radio show, in the studio.
And often you will find at real radio stations an on-air sign, but they don't have that in the radio station.
Do they not? I think there is an on-air radio. Oh, I think over Studio One there's an on-air sign.
There is an on-air sign.
Yeah, over Studio One, but I think you might be right about Studio Two. So they've got a couple of different studios that you can work in, and there's the big one, which is called Studio One, and then there's the littler one, which is the one that we usually record in, and that's Studio Two.
So let's picture that. Okay, there is a music library for the compact disc, and probably a few odds and ends on the shelves. Okay, and these days you don't use CDs, okay, but they're all hat now, or old fashioned. Okay? So it's easy. So Radio Northern Beaches is like a small building. It isn't like a big building like some of the radio stations are. Okay? It's located next to the fire station, and that's where it is. So you know, there is lots of equipment there. Like you may have, we talked about the radio course last year, where we had a mock go at interviewing people and then doing a live radio show. Here's Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? So you and I both did the training course down at Radio Northern Beaches, and then at the end of the day, we did a little live-to-air interview. That was a huge amount of fun, wasn't it? And so we were actually going live to air, and I was interviewing you, and we had a lot of fun that day, and we learned quite a lot about making a radio show as well.
So you don't really need to write your script for the radio show. I mean, it's your choice, but work it out in your head, what you're going to talk about, who you're going to interview, and the songs you're going to play. Here's Alex.
Yeah, that's good advice, mate. Now, I think it very much varies based on the different presenters. And some people like to have their content really scripted, and others prefer it if it's much more natural. And I think your style is a very natural style. But even the best people with a very natural style still like to know which songs they're going to play, so they're ready to go. And have a loose idea of what they're going to talk about on their show and who they're going to interview and that kind of thing. So it's good to plan it, isn't it? It's good to plan it, even if you don't script it.
So if you're going to interview someone, okay, make sure that you get their permission before you do it, and find out where the person is based, because they may be based in Melbourne or Brisbane or Adelaide or Hobart or Perth or even Darwin, perhaps overseas. Here's Alec.
Yeah, so it's possible now, isn't it, to interview people from all over the place, and you can interview them at different times of day, so you might be wanting to interview someone who's down in Tasmania, and you could just call them, and you can actually interview them over the phone and record it straight into your radio show.
And at the end of the show, okay, say you've been listening to the Barry Fear Show on 88.7 and 90.3. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to your company next time. And have a great day, and say bye-bye. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's nice at the end of the show to thank your listeners for listening, and have a great day, make people feel nice about themselves, and then get ready for the next show.
So our next show at Radio Northern Bleachers will soon be under construction, but who knows what we'll be talking about on the next show. We might be talking about the 70s the next time we meet. Probably 1977 next. Who knows? You'll just have to wait and see. I don't want to give the surprise away yet, because we haven't set a date for the next show. Here's Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can book that in sometime, and you can have a think about what you'd like to talk about. And you could do another year. You could have you could have any subject that you want to have. That's one of the wonderful things about your show, the Barry Fear Show, is it's a very flexible sort of subject, and you can talk about all sorts of different things.
And now I'll just cut another shot with radio again. So just a second, guys. Now, the beauty of going on radio, guys, is be excited about it. Look forward to recording your show, okay? And look forward to playing the songs that you selected. Here's Alec.
Yeah, it is fun to prepare and plan, isn't it? And to think about what you're going to play on your show and what you're going to say on the show. And that is part of the fun of having a radio show is planning it and thinking about what you're going to put on it, what you're going to talk about, who you're going to talk to, and you never know. You could invite a special guest next time for your show if you wanted, someone who could come along to the studio. So you can have lots and lots of fun making a radio show.
But like I said just a couple of minutes ago, after the person's permission, before you interview them. Because some people, guys, they may not want to be interviewed. So you might want to bear that in mind when you are doing a radio show. Okay? And the thing I learned about the radio is being calm and relaxed. Here's Alec.
Yeah, being calm and relaxed is so important, isn't it? So you want to sound natural and happy, and if you do, then you know that your listeners are more likely to be calm and relaxed, and that's a really great outcome.
And keep your show upbeat and interesting as well, and don't bore the listeners with things that are not relevant or don't make sense. Here's Alec.
Yeah, and it's good to talk about sort of interesting subjects. People like hearing about personal stories, don't they? So they like hearing stories about people, and it's always good to talk about interesting subjects so that people enjoy listening to your show.
And thank the guests for coming in at the end of the show, and welcome your guests to the show as well, because that's important. Here's Alec.
Yeah, it is very nice, isn't it, to welcome people onto your show, and to be respectful, and also to introduce them so that people know who you're talking to.
So if I was to say now on the show, I've got a special guest with me. He's from the Cerebral Palsy Alliance. Alec Taylor. He's a volunteer. I would introduce Alec and say, good morning, Alec. Thanks for coming on the show today. That's how I would do it. I would then ask him a few questions about what he does for a job and things like that. And at the end of the interview, I would say, Alec, thank you so much for coming on the show. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say, thanks for having me on the show. So, yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. That's exactly how you would have a guest on the show. You introduce them, ask them some questions, have some chat, and then thank them for being on the show.
And then play a song to finish the show. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? And you know, playing a song at the end. In fact, playing a little bit of music through the show can always be good, can't it? And it's nice to sort of play a similar song every show as well. Sometimes that can be quite a good thing to do. But yeah, that's a nice thing to do at the end of the show.
And always thank you, listeners, as well, for tuning in. Make them feel inspired. Here's Alec.
Yeah, inspired and included, and feel like you're talking to them personally, you know. So it's a lovely thing to do, is to thank people for listening in.
And it was a really good experience, guys, because if you know of someone that is interested in radio and doing a radio course, get them to look up on the website when the next course is, because you know they might like to do a show. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone can do it, can't they? So it's a very easy thing to do. You've got to sign up for the training. The training takes most of a day, and you learn all sorts of things about radio and making radio shows. And then you record that little pilot at the end of the day, or a little interview. You do a little practice, and then you figure out how you're going to make your show.
So there is no right or wrong in making a show. And like I just said, if you make a mistake, on the show, don't worry. Just go along with the flow and you'll be right. Here's Alex.
Yeah, absolutely right. So it's, in fact, it's very normal and natural to make mistakes as you're talking in a show. So you just keep going, don't you? And it just sounds normal and natural. So you don't worry about making mistakes on a radio show.
So go on. If you know of someone disabled or able, get them involved in the show. Making a radio show can be sometimes daunting, but you know, like I've just said, you know, if you're nervous, just relax and you'll have someone with you to guide you. Here's Alex.
Yeah, that's right, mate. And the good news is that you always seem to be relaxed in your show. So I think it's probably because you've been recording shows for such a long time that you don't really get that nervous, do you? But if you did, it's good to just talk to someone else and they can help you to be calm.
And if you have someone in a wheelchair and they would like to do a radio course like I did last year, get them involved, because all they've got to do is go on the website at RMB, and there will be an application form for you to fill out to do the course. And you will have a ball, I can tell you that. Because last year, Alex and I had a real buzz out of it. Here he is.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, mate, during that show, that training session last year for producing a show on the radio.
So, have fun, guys, with your radio show, and feel excited. Get the listeners inspired and admired. Make them feel like they're listening to you. Here's Alex.
Yeah, it's always good, and this is kind of what you were talking about before about being upbeat and interesting. And if you're positive and happy, then people will enjoy listening to your show.
And they will enjoy listening to the next show and the next show after that, depending on what you're talking about. Here's Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you keep making interesting, upbeat shows, then more and more people will enjoy listening to them.
And you could talk about a cooking segment on the show too. So it's not just about music. There are topics out there that you can talk about. Here's Alex.
Yeah, lots of things to talk about on the radio. You can talk about food, you can talk about gardening, all sorts of different things that people will be interested in hearing about on the radio.
Well, this has been episode 89 today, and thank you so much for tuning in and viewing, and it has been an honor to sit here every second Monday to do the show with you, and I've still got plenty of time to do plenty more shows with you, so don't get me Kleenex tissues out just keep them in the cupboard, and we've got plenty of time. Who knows, we might do an outside show next time round. And we hope that you are snug and warm at home wherever you are watching. And for those that are not feeling the best, get well soon, and we'll see you next time. And the message that I close each show with every week here, the usage of 000. Please do not ring that number for stupid, prank, trivial issues. Please don't do that. It is wrong. It is disrespectful and time wasting. Here's Alec to take us out with that message and to close episode 89 with that.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. Always a good community service announcement. Only use 000 in an emergency.
So next time on the show, we'll be talking about more great winter food, getting ready for spring, what plants, vegetables to grow, you name it, we'll be bringing it. So if you would like to be a guest on my show, leave me a comment down below, because I'd like to hear from you, because your feedback is important about the show. Here's Alec.
Yeah, great idea, mate. So always good to engage with your listeners, and thanks for having me on the show.
And viewers.
Viewers, absolutely. Viewers and listeners, absolutely.
So, for those not feeling very well today, we are sorry about that you're not well. The winter blues are definitely here. So if you curl up on the couch, watch a good movie, guys, on Netflix, and make sure you keep up your fluids as well, and take some cold and flu tablets if need be. And you have been watching episode 89 of the Barry Fear Show. It has been coming to you from our studios at Lifestyle Options, and we will see you next time. But until Alec and I see you again, it's bye from myself, Barry Fear, and Alec Taylor. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time for episode 90. Bye-bye now. You've been watching episode 89 of the show. Thank you for joining me here today. And I really do hope that you enjoy episode 90, which is coming up in 2 weeks from today. So I hope that you have a great night and stay safe, everybody, and I look forward to your company next time. But until then, from myself, Barry Fear, you have a great night. Bye-bye now.